The rain-slicked streets of Barcelona gleamed under the sodium lamps like veins of molten silver, but inside the cramped apartment on Cara de Ferran, the air hung heavy with unspoken thunder. Maya Vargas slammed the door behind her, her backpack thudding against the wall, heart pounding from the sprint through the downpour, not from the storm outside, but from the one she just ignited at the university mixer. "I can't do this anymore," she whispered to the empty room, her voice cracking like the thunder rolling in from the sea. She peeled off her soaked jacket, revealing the damp curls of her dark hair clinging to her neck, and collapsed onto the threadbare rug, pulling her knees to her chest as if she could fold herself small enough to disappear. Across the city, in the fluorescent-lit bullpen of the Mossos de Esquadra station, Elena Vargas hunched over a stack of witness statements, her uniform crisp despite the 12-hour shift. At 48, she was the station's unofficial rock, the American expat who traded the dusty precincts of Albuquerque for the labyrinthine alleys of Catalonia 2 decades ago, chasing a fresh start after her divorce. Her salt and pepper bob was pinned back with the precision of someone who'd learned to compartmentalize pain early. Husband's infidelity, the move to Spain for her late mother's sake, raising Maya alone on a cop's salary. She rubbed her temples, ignoring the ache that had nothing to do with the unsolved pickpocketing ring plaguing La Rambla. Her phone buzzed. A text from Maya. "Home late. Don't wait up." Elena's thumb hovered, then typed back, "Be safe. Love you." She hit send, the words a reflex, a shield against the growing distance she felt between them. Maya didn't see the message. She was already scrolling through her phone, thumb trembling over McKenna's contact. McKenna Riley, the Irish-American painter with freckles like scattered stars, and a laugh that could chase away Barcelona's perpetual gray. They'd met 6 months ago at a street art festival in El Raval, where McKenna's murals of defiant women in flowing capes had caught Maya's eye amid the spray paint haze. What started as shared churros and shy glances had bloomed into stolen afternoons in hidden parks, whispered confessions under the stars. But tonight at the mixer, Maya had frozen when a classmate's arm slung casually around her shoulders, the expectation of normalcy suffocating. She'd bolted, leaving McKenna waiting in the shadows of the Gothic quarter, confusion etched on her face. The knock came soft but insistent, pulling Maya from her spiral. She dragged herself up, peering through the peephole. McKenna, drenched auburn waves plastered to her forehead, green eyes stormy with worry. "Maya? Open up, it's me." The door flew open and McKenna was there, pulling her into a hug that smelled of rain and turpentine. "What the hell happened? You just vanished." Maya's sob broke free then, muffled against McKenna's shoulder. "I told Javier about us. He laughed, said it was a phase. But what if it's not? What if Mom finds out?" McKenna held her tighter, fingers tracing soothing circles on her back. "Then we face it. Together. You're not alone in this, mi amor." Elena clocked out at midnight, the station's chatter fading behind her as she navigated the metro back to Gracia. The ride was a blur of tired faces and graffiti-scarred walls, her mind replaying the day's close call, a foot chase through the Bari Gothic that ended with a teenage thief in cuffs, his eyes wide with the same fear she'd seen in Maya's as a child. Home was a third-floor walk-up in a building that creaked like an old ship, filled with relics of their transatlantic life. Faded photos of Mayan ruins from a long-ago vacation, Elena's police academy diploma from New Mexico framed beside Maya's high school portrait. She let herself in quietly, kicking off her boots, the floor cool under her socks. The apartment was dark, save for a sliver of light under Maya's door. Elena paused, hand on the knob, instinct prickling. Something felt off, the air too still, laced with the faint scent of jasmine perfume that wasn't hers. She knocked lightly. "Maya? You up?" A rustle, then the door cracked open. Maya stood there, eyes red-rimmed, hair tousled, wearing an oversized sweater that swallowed her slender frame. "Mom? I thought you were on till dawn." Elena forced a smile, stepping in despite the hesitation in her daughter's posture. The room was a chaos of sketchbooks and half-read philosophy texts. Maya's world vibrant and untamed, so unlike Elena's ordered one. "Couldn't sleep knowing you were out in this mess. Everything okay?" Maya nodded too quickly, glancing at her phone on the bed. "Yeah, just studying." Elena's cop senses hummed. The lie was thin, transparent. She sat on the edge of the bed, patting the space beside her. "Talk to me, kiddo." You've been distant lately. Is it school? That boyfriend you mentioned, Javier. Maya's stomach twisted. Javier was a convenient shield. A classmate she'd once crushed on in high school before realizing her heart pulled elsewhere. It's complicated. The words hung heavy. Elena waited, patient as she always was, the woman who'd bandaged knees and explained away bullies with quiet steel. But tonight, patience cracked something open. Maya took a breath, the dam breaking. There is no boyfriend, Mom. I'm gay. And there's someone. Her name's McKenna. The confession spilled out in a rush, raw and unpolished. Maya's hazel eyes locking on Elena's, bracing for the storm. Elena didn't flinch. Didn't gasp or recoil. She leaned forward, cupping Maya's face in hands roughened by years gripping batons and steering wheels. Oh, honey. Her voice was a whisper, thick with something Maya couldn't name. Not anger, not disappointment, but a fierce, aching tenderness. I've known for a while. The way your eyes light up when you talk about art shows, the late nights studying. I was waiting for you to tell me. Maya blinked, tears spilling over. You knew? And you're not mad. Elena pulled her into an embrace, the kind that smelled of coffee and gun oil, steady as the Mediterranean cliffs. Mel, baby, I'm proud. So damn proud. This is you, brave, beautiful you. We'll figure it out. I promise. But promises, Elena knew, were fragile things in a city of shadows. As Maya drifted to sleep in her arms, Elena's mind raced to the precinct gossip, the conservative old guard who'd whisper if they knew her daughter was different, and deeper still, to the secret she'd buried when she left America. Her own hidden heart, the college fling with a roommate that had shattered her world and sent her running across an ocean. No one expected Elena's reaction because no one knew the half of it. The next morning dawned crisp, the rain a memory as sunlight slanted through the balcony doors. Maya woke to the sizzle of eggs in the kitchen, the comfort of routine pulling her from the haze of vulnerability. McKenna had slipped out before dawn, a text lingering. Call me when it's safe. Love you. Maya smiled, padding into the kitchen in socks, where Elena flipped tortillas with practiced ease, humming an old Joan Baez tune, a remnant of her folk-singing days in New Mexico. Sit. Eat. Elena slid a plate over, her uniform jacket slung over a chair, badge glinting like a talisman. Maya obeyed, the normalcy a bomb. About last night. Thanks, Mom. For not freaking out. Elena poured coffee, black and strong, the steam curling like unspoken fears. Freaking out's for amateurs. Besides, love's love. Doesn't come with a rule book. She paused, fork midway to her mouth. Tell me about her. McKenna. Maya's cheeks warmed, words tumbling out. McKenna's murals that captured the soul of forgotten streets. Her laugh like wind chimes in a gale. The way she painted Maya's portrait in secret. Hidden colors blooming where fear had grayed Maya's world. Elena listened, nodding, a soft smile playing at her lips. It was the most they'd connected in months, the barrier of half-truths crumbling. But as Maya chattered, Elena's gaze drifted to the window, where the spires of Sagrada Familia pierced the sky. Gaudia's unfinished dream, a reminder that some structures took lifetimes to complete. Her own life felt like that. Pieced together from fragments, the American dream exported to Europe, now tested by this revelation. Invite her over, Elena said finally, voice steady. For dinner. Let's make it official. Maya's eyes widened. You sure? Elena winked, masking the flutter in her chest. Positive. Paella's on me. McKenna arrived at dusk, a bottle of Rioja in one hand and a canvas tote bulging with fresh figs from the Boqueria market in the other. Her short auburn hair caught the hallway light, freckles standing out against skin still pale from studio hours, green eyes scanning the door like it might bite. Maya had warned her, Mom's cool but she's a cop. Intense. McKenna smoothed her button down, the one with the subtle rainbow thread woven into the cuff, a quiet armor. This is insane, she muttered, knocking. The door swung open and there was Maya, radiant in a sundress that hugged her slender curves, curls loose and wild. Hey you. The kiss was quick, chaste, a brush of lips that said we're real without shouting it. Elena appeared from the kitchen, apron dusted with saffron, extending a hand with the firm grip of someone who'd cuffed more than a few wrists. McKenna, right? Welcome. Smells like heaven in here, doesn't it? McKenna shook, noting the calluses, the assessing blue eyes that missed nothing. Mrs. Vargas, Elena, thank you. Maya's told me everything, or close to it. Elena chuckled low and warm, ushering them to the table. Call me Elena. And everything's overrated. Let's start with wine. The paella steamed in its vast pan, shrimp and mussels nestled among golden rice, the air thick with garlic and sea salt. Elena's recipe, tweaked from Andalusian roots her mother had passed down before cancer claimed her. Dinner unfolded like a tentative dance. Maya and McKenna traded glances across the table, fingers brushing under the cloth, while Elena poured stories like the Rioja, tales of her first raid in Barcelona, chasing smugglers through the port, the time she'd posed as a tourist to bust a counterfeit ring in the Picasso Museum. Cops here are different, she said, spearing a mussel. Less cowboys, more chess players. But the stakes? Same heart-pounding rush. McKenna leaned in, hooked. Sounds like your murals, Maya says. Layers under layers. Elena's eyes twinkled. Art and law, both about seeing what's hidden. You paint truths, I chase lies. We might get along. As plates cleared, the conversation deepened, wine loosening tongues. Maya shared her thesis on queer voices in Catalan literature, her passion lighting her hazel eyes. McKenna spoke of her latest piece, a triptych of women breaking chains, inspired by Franco's ghosts still haunting Spain. Elena listened, then surprised them both. I came out here in '98, right after Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Thought Spain would be freer, progressive Europe and all. But the church, the old guard. It's everywhere. She paused, swirling her glass. I had a friend back in college. Sarah. We kept it quiet. Too quiet. Lost touch when I bolted after the divorce. The admission hung, a bridge extended. Maya's fork stilled. You? Elena nodded, a ghost of a smile. Me. 'S why I get it, kiddo. Why I'm in your corner. The revelation shifted the room's gravity. McKenna's hand found Maya's under the table, squeezing. For the first time, the three of them breathed the same air, unburdened, aligned. Laughter followed, easy now, as Elena pulled out an old photo album, yellowed pages chronicling Maya's childhood. Gap-toothed grins at the Albuquerque Fair, awkward teen phases in Madrid during Elena's training. McKenna traced a picture of young Elena in a leather jacket, motorcycle gleaming behind her. Rebel vibes. Bet you turned heads. Elena Laugued. Genuine. Some I turned, others I ran from. The night stretched, stories weaving into the small hours, the city lights twinkling beyond the balcony like conspirators. But dawn brought shadows. Elena's shift started at 6, the precinct calling with a vengeance. A string of hate crimes targeting immigrant neighborhoods, graffiti slurs on El Raval walls that echoed too closely to the fears she'd just confessed. She dressed in silence, badge heavy on her chest, glancing at the sleeping forms on the couch. Maya curled against McKenna, peaceful as she'd not been in years. My girls, Elena thought. A swell of protectiveness fierce as any perp chase. She left a note, coffee's on. Be good. Love, Mom. The metro rattled her toward duty, mind churning. Support was one thing, the world outside their apartment another. Whispers at the station could turn to shouts, and Elena Vargas didn't raise her daughter to hide. Maya woke to the aroma of espresso. McKenna's arm draped warm across her waist. Your mom's a legend, McKenna murmured, nuzzling her neck. Tough as nails, soft as silk. Maya smiled, but unease flickered. The ease of last night felt fragile, like gaudy sand towers at the beach. They spent the day wandering, hand in hand through Parc de la Ciudadela, the air sweet with jasmine. McKenna sketched Maya against the fountain, capturing the curve of her jaw, the vulnerability in her gaze. This is us, she said, charcoal smudging her fingers. No more running. But as they kissed under the palms, a group of teens nearby catcalled, slurs sharp as broken glass. Maya tensed, pulling away. It's nothing, McKenna soothed, but the seed was planted, doubt, the city's underbelly reminding them freedom was conditional. That evening Elena returned battered, a fresh bruise blooming on her cheek from a scuffle with a vandal. Maya iced it in the kitchen, McKenna hovering with tea. Rough one. Elena waved it off. Kids with spray cans and too much anger. Same old. But her eyes were distant, replaying the graffiti. Maricon's go home. She'd scrubbed it herself, gloves on, heart raw. Over takeout tapas she broached it. Heard about the attacks. You two. Be careful out there. Barcelona's got heart, but scars run deep. McKenna nodded, serious. We know. That's why the art, to paint over the hate. Elena raised her glass. To painting over. And to us. Weeks blurred into a rhythm. Stolen mornings with McKenna in her sun-drenched studio. Afternoons buried in lectures. Evenings with Elena's home-cooked meals and wry precinct anecdotes. Maya felt anchored, the weight of secrecy lifted. But cracks formed subtly. Elena's shifts lengthened, her laughter rarer. One night after a double homicide in the port, lovers stabbed in a jealous rage. She came home hollow-eyed, pouring scotch neat. World's a mess, she muttered, staring at the wall. Maya sat beside her. Talk to me. Elena hesitated then. It was a couple. Like, you and Kenna. Argument gone wrong. One snap and... She trailed off, the unsaid heavy. Could be you. Maya hugged her, but Elena stiffened, pulling back. Just. Promise me you'll fight smart. Not like me. The betrayal brewed in shadows Elena couldn't see. At the station, her partner, Tomas, a grizzled Catalan with a mustache like a broom and prejudices baked in from Franco's era, had overheard her on the phone, Maya's laughter bubbling through the speaker. Vargas, that your girl? Finally got a novio. Elena brushed it off, but Tomas's eyes narrowed, the old machismo stirring. He said nothing then, but seeds of gossip took root in the break room, whispers slithering like smoke. Maya sensed the shift first. Elena grew quieter, her questions probing. Kenna's folks, they know? Maya shrugged. Not yet. She's from Boston, they'll come around. Elena nodded, but worry etched deeper lines around her eyes. One crisp October afternoon, as leaves turned amber in the Izample, Maya and McKenna strolled Los Ramblas, buskers strumming flamenco riffs. A flower seller thrust a rose at them, winking. For the pretty ladies. Laughter light. But across the street, a figure watched, Tomas off-duty, cigarette dangling, face twisting in recognition. He flicked the butt away, pulling out his phone. That night, Elena's world tilted. A call from the captain. Vargas' office. Now. The room smelled of stale coffee and authority, fluorescent buzz like a migraine. Captain Ruiz, broad and bespectacled, slid a folder across the desk, printouts, screenshots. Maya's Instagram public now, a photo of her and McKenna at the beach, arms linked, sunset gilding their smiles. This true. Ruiz's voice was neutral, but the undercurrent chilled. Elena's throat tightened. It's my daughter. Private life. Ruiz leaned back. Not when it hits the locker room. Tomas is stirring shit, says you're distracted. Unfit for the field. Bigot's gonna bigot, but protocol's protocol. HR meeting tomorrow. Elena's rage simmered, controlled. She stormed out, Tomas's smirk fueling it. Betrayal bit deep. Not just his but her own naivete, thinking walls could hold. She drove home too fast, tires screeching into the lot, bursting through the door where Maya and McKenna prepped for a gallery opening. Dresses laid out like hopes. Mom! Maya's face fell at the bruise. Not from a fight, but a slap from fate. Elena collapsed into a chair, the story spilling. The photo, the whispers, the threat to her badge. They can't touch you, she growled. But me? I'm the shield. And it's cracking. Maya's tears came hot. This is because of me. McKenna pulled her close. No, because of them. Elena reached across, hands linking. We fight. Together. But in her core, doubt festered. How far would she go to protect them? And what if the cost was her own buried truth, dragged kicking into the light? The HR meeting dawned gray. Barcelona shrouded in mist, rolling off the harbor like a shroud. Elena arrived early, uniform starched, hair pinned tight, armor against the Inquisition. The room was sterile, a conference table flanked by two suits. HR rep Carla, mid-40s with a no-nonsense bob and a rainbow pin discreet on her lapel, and Ruiz, arms crossed. Tomas lurked outside, feigning paperwork, his presence a poison. Detective Vargas, Carla began, voice measured. We've received complaints. Allegations of personal matters affecting judgment. Elena's jaw set. Bullshit. Name them. Ruiz cleared his throat. It's informal. But the optics, your daughter's orientation. In a force still shedding old skin, it raises flags. Elena's laugh was sharp, American-edged. Optics. This ain't Hollywood. It's Spain 2025. Marriage equality's been law for a decade. My job's collars, not closets. Carla nodded, empathetic. We agree. But perception lingers. Suggestion. Sensitivity training. And a memo clarifying boundaries. Elena's fists clenched under the table. Training? Like she was the problem? And Tomas? He spreads the dirt, gets a pass. Ruiz shifted. Prove it. Without that, it's he said she said. The meeting dragged, concessions extracted like teeth. A week's desk duty, mandatory counseling. Elena signed, seething, storming past Tomas with a glare that promised reckoning. Back home, she found Maya pacing the balcony, phone glued to her ear. McKenna's voice tinny, urgent. The gallery's buzzing. Someone leaked the photo, trolls in the comments, calling it propaganda. Maya hung up, eyes wild. Mom, it's everywhere. My prof emailed. Supportive but concerned about distractions. Elena pulled her into the kitchen, brewing chamomile strong. They're scared. Of us. Of change. But her voice wavered, the cop facade cracking. For the first time, Maya saw the woman beneath. Vulnerable, the expat who'd fled one prejudice ocean away, only to find echoes. What do we do? Maya whispered. Elena cupped her tea, steam blurring her vision. We stand. But smart. No more public pics. For now. The days that followed were a pressure cooker. Elena buried herself in case files, the pickpocketing ring morphing into something uglier. Coordinated hits on queer bars in Pobl SEC. Bottles through windows, slurs scrawled in red. She led the task force. Tomas demoted to traffic after an anonymous tip about his temper, but victory tasted ash. Whispers followed her. Vargas's dyke daughter soft on perps. McKenna's gallery show loomed, her triptych unveiled to a crowd that swelled then soured. A protest outside, signs waving family values first, Catalan flags twisted into symbols of exclusion. Maya stood sentinel, Elena's hand on her shoulder, but McKenna's eyes dimmed post-opening, sails flat. Art's my voice, she said later, curled on the couch. But they're shouting louder. Conflict simmered domestic too. Elena's protectiveness tipped to control. Skip the march this weekend. Too volatile. Maya bristled. I'm not a kid, Mom. Hiding feeds them. Arguments flared sharp as Sirocco winds, Elena's fear clashing with Maya's fire. McKenna caught in the crossfire. Her own doubts whispering, am I worth this storm? One night after a slammed door echoed through the apartment, Elena found Maya's journal open on the table. Pages of poetry, raw verses about loving against the tide. McKenna's name etched like a talisman. Guilt stabbed, she'd raised a lion, now caging it. Betrayal struck deepest from within. Elena's counseling session, mandated and mocking, unearthed ghosts. The therapist, a soft-spoken Mallorcan named Sophia, probed gently. Your reaction to Maya's coming out, so immediate. Ever grieve your own? Elena deflected, but cracks widened. Flashbacks. Sarah's dorm room, 92, posters of Katie Lang peeling from walls. Their first kiss, tasting of cheap Merlot and forbidden thrill. Then the breakup, Elena's panic, the closet's crush, fleeing to the force where straight-laced structure numbed the ache. I buried her, Elena admitted finally, voice breaking. For Maya. For sanity. Sophia nodded. Unburying hurts. But it's freedom. Emboldened, Elena reached out. A late-night email to Sarah, traced via Facebook, now a professor in Seattle. Remember me? The reply came swift. How could I forget? Calls followed, tentative then torrent. Laughter over shared regrets. Tears for roads not taken. Sarah's voice, unchanged, stirred embers. Elena thought ash. Come visit, Sarah urged. Maya too. Show her legacy's a circle. Elena wavered, the invitation a lifeline or a ledge. Maya meanwhile plotted rebellion. With McKenna they planned a secret zine. Underground drops in cafes. Stories from queer Barcelona voices, defying the silence. Printing in McKenna's studio. Ink-stained and exhilarated. Maya kissed her fiercely. This is us claiming space. But Tomas's shadow loomed. Demoted but vengeful, he tailed Elena off shift, snapping photos. Her at a discreet bar in Izample, nursing a gin with a woman, Sophia, post-session coffee turned confessional. He forwarded them anonymously. Vargas's real issue. The leak hit the station chat like wildfire. Climax brewed on a rain-lashed November eve, the task force raid on a warehouse in Sance, the ring's lair, maps of targeted spots pinned like kill lists. Elena led the breach, vest heavy, pulse thunder. Chaos erupted. Shouts in Catalan, flashes of steel. She tackled a runner, knee in his back, cuffs clicking victory. But as backup swarmed, Tomas cornered her in the shadows, face twisted. Knew you'd slip, Vargas. Your kind always does. He lunged, not with fists but a shove toward a jagged crate. Elena twisted, but her ankle buckled, pain lancing white-hot. Sirens wailed, medics swarming, but Tomas's whisper lingered. Tell your girls to watch their backs. Hospital lights buzzed harsh, Elena's leg in a cast, Maya and McKenna at her bedside, faces pale. Idiot move, Elena grumbled, masking fear. Maya gripped her hand.
Thomas? Elena nodded grimly.
He's done. Assault on an officer. But the real wound festered. The photos leaked wider, now viral in queer forums. Elena with Sophia, captioned cop comes out? Support flooded. Allies at the station, messages from Sarah, but backlash roared. Death threats to the precinct, pickets at their door. We're exposed, McKenna said, voice steady but eyes haunted. All of us. In the quiet hours, Elena confessed everything. Sarah, the burial, the counseling thaw. Maya listened, tears tracing paths. You hid for me. Elena shook her head. For me. But no more. The room held them, mother, daughter, lover. A fragile trinity against the gale. Outside, Barcelona breathed, ancient and unyielding, its streets a testament to survival. Recovery was a slow unraveling. Elena's cast a clunky reminder of fractures mended and those still raw. Discharged after a week, she hobbled home to an apartment transformed. Maya's zine stacked on the table, McKenna's latest sketch. The three of them as intertwined vines, propped on the mantel. Neighbors left casseroles, notes of solidarity from the building's eclectic mix. The baker downstairs, queer himself, a fistful of encimadas. The widow upstairs, slipping poems under the door. Barcelona's heart showed, patchwork and proud, countering the online venom. Elena fielded calls, Ruiz apologetic. Tomas arrested. Full inquiry. Sarah insistent. Tickets booked. Christmas in Seattle. All of you. Maya orchestrated the mending. Classes paused, she dove into advocacy. Linking with Grup Lambda, Barcelona's queer lifeline, her voice steady at a presser outside the precinct. My mom's a hero. So's my city. Hate hides. Love stands. Flashes popped, McKenna beside her, hand laced firm. Elena watched from the balcony, crutches propped, pride swelling fierce. But doubt lingered, a whisper in quiet moments. Am I enough? Counseling with Sophia continued, virtual now, unpacking the layers. The American bravado masking immigrant isolation. The cop's code clashing with her thawing heart. Winter crept in, chill winds off the med whipping through Gracia's squares. The zine went viral underground, reprinted in Madrid and Berlin, stories echoing Maya's. A trans barista's flight from Galicia. A lesbian couple's adoption fight. McKenna's art surged. Commissions for murals on safe houses. Her hands alive with purpose. One evening as snow dusted the city, rare and magical, they gathered for hot chocolate spiked with brandy, Elena recounting Sarah's latest email. Can't wait to meet the family that stole your heart. Maya grinned. Wings, huh? From here to there. Elena's eyes misted. Full circle, baby. But humanism demanded shadows too. Not all mended clean. Tomas's trial loomed, his defense painting him victim. Provoked by moral decay, stirring old divides. Elena testified, voice unyielding. He betrayed his badge. For what? Fear. The courtroom in Barcelona's Palace of Justice hummed with tension. Protesters outside clashing with countersigns. Victory came, conviction 5 years but scars etched deep. Sophia warned Elena of burnout, the weight of proxy wars. You're not just mom or cop. You're you. In a session, Elena admitted the ache. I want to love again. Sarah. It's real. But Maya. Does it confuse her? Sophia smiled. It frees her. Christmas Eve they boarded the flight, Elena's cast shed. Walking unaided, Maya and McKenna chattering over in-flight tapas. Seattle greeted with evergreens and rain. Sarah waiting at arrivals. Silver-streaked hair, warm brown eyes, a hug that spanned decades.
Elena Vargas, troublemaker.
The house was a craftsman haven, bookshelves groaning, hearth crackling. Over eggnog and tamales Elena airlifted from a Catalan friend, stories flowed. Sarah's tenure battles, her own coming out post-Obergefell, the women who'd anchored her. Maya and McKenna wandered the waterfront. Hands swinging, Pike Place bustle a new world whirl. "Your mom's glowing," McKenna said, stealing a kiss by the fairies. Maya nodded, heart full. "Ours now." New Year's brought revelation. Back in Barcelona, Elena invited Sarah. A whirlwind visit, tickets her Christmas gift to herself. The airport reunion was quiet chaos. Sarah's carry-on bursting with Seattle chocolates, Elena's cheeks flushing under the terminal lights. Maya and McKenna played hosts, dinner a fusion feast. Paella laced with Dungeness crab, laughter bridging oceans. Sarah's tales of Pacific Northwest hikes meshed with Elena's port patrols. Hands brushing over wine glasses, sparks long-banked reigniting. "You're still that girl on the motorcycle," Sarah teased.
Elena grined.
Wiser wheels now. Yet conflict crested one final time. A letter arrived. Anonymous, postmarked from Tomas's hometown. "Your filth ends here." Inside, a photo. Maya and McKenna at the march, circled in red. Panic surged. Elena mobilized station resources, tracing it to a cousin. Fringe and fanatical. The arrest was swift, but the toll lingered. Nightmares for Maya. McKenna's sketches turning darker. Elena's vigilance a second skin. In the aftermath, they convened on the balcony. City lights a constellation below. "Enough hiding," Elena declared. "We go public. My way." The next week, an op-ed in El Periodico. A cop's daughter, a mother's pride against the hate. Elena's words raw. "I chased shadows so my girl could chase dreams. Love isn't the crime, silence is." The response was title. Support from the mayor's office, a feature on TV3, queer youth reaching out. "You gave us words." Backlash hissed but drowned in the wave. Sarah stayed, her sabbatical aligning, the two women navigating tentative dates. Walks in Montjuic, hands held unapologetic. Maya watched, healing her own wounds. Therapy for the freeze at the mixer. Boundaries with Javier's judgmental crew. McKenna proposed a joint show. Threads of us weaving their stories into canvas and verse. Spring bloomed defiant. Cherry blossoms carpeting the streets. Elena's promotion came, detective sergeant, task force lead on community outreach, her badge a beacon. At the ceremony, Maya stood tall, McKenna's ring glinting on her finger. A promise whispered in the studio, simple gold band etched with siempre. Elena pinned her own commendation, Sarah beside her, then pulled Maya close. "You started this," she murmured. "My brave girl." Maya teared up. "We all did." The ending wasn't fairy tale. No erasures, just endurance. Elena and Sarah planned a summer road trip. Route 66 redux across Spain's Costas. Maya and McKenna eyed grad schools, tandem applications to Barcelona and Boston. Betrayals scarred, but forgiveness tempered them. Elena wrote to Tomas in prison, not absolution but humanity. See the person, not the threat. His reply. Silence. But in the quiet, growth. One dusk atop Tibidabo Hill, the four ascended. City sprawling golden below, sea whispering eternal. Elena raised a toast with cava. To reactions no one expected. To love that bends but doesn't break. Glasses clinked, arms entwined, the wind carrying their laughter down to the lights. In Barcelona's embrace. American heart's Spanish soul, they were whole. Not perfect but profoundly humanly theirs.